What's up, you heathens and demons? Welcome back to the Raging Atheist. I'm your boy Nakasuchi. It's a little early. I'm having my morning coffee. But last night, Matt Powell went on Skylar Fiction, and he once again lied on me, and in fact used a lie that I had directly proven to be a lie in my video. So we're gonna watch this. We're not gonna watch all of it. We'll probably watch to the point where the first time Matt Powell lies on me, because he does it at least twice. The other thing I want to, before we get into this video, is give a holler out to Guzman, 1611, I believe, is his YouTube handle. He was in the chat last night and calling me out. I had a lot of fun with him. So if you're watching Guzman, your video is the next one I film, so I'll be dealing with you shortly. But without further ado, we're going to get into this. I got the speed turned up double time so we can try to get through it. And yeah, so without further ado, let's watch Matt Powell on Skylar Fiction.
Sure. Well, I guess my first question would be, what is more plausible to you? Intelligent design or things coming into being by chance, and why?
I think it's a good question. So, what is more plausible to me? Listen, I'm definitely not totally. I'm agnostic when it comes to a general God concept. Like, I'm not saying that there couldn't be some kind of intelligent designer or God creator. It's definitely a more atheistic towards specific religions, and Christianity being one of them. Now, what's more likely? That's a good question. I don't know if I know what's more plausible. I don't know how the beginnings of our universe began. I'm not a scientist. I haven't studied that. I took a biology class and an astronomy class in college many years ago to really understand the details of how everything came into being. I think a lot of people don't know the answer to that. To be honest, I just don't know. That's a good question. To be frank with you.
Sure. What would you? Well, I guess it's okay to claim ignorance. There's certain things that I claim ignorance.
So this is something that Matt does. Matt seems not to understand the difference between not believing in a Christian God and not holding a possibility open for some kind of God. This is a talking point that Christians have that makes no sense. You really need to study the labelizations of it, because you can be agnostic towards specific gods and hold open the possibility of a God. And possibility is something that Matt Powell just doesn't seem to comprehend at all. Matt Powell deals in absolutes, which we've covered thoroughly. But I think Skylar Fiction gave a really good answer. Skylar Fiction gives really good answers. So you're not going to find any beefs with me in regards to any of the answers Skylar Fiction gave. I think Skylar Fiction crushed Matt Powell last night, but this isn't really about that. This is just addressing that, once again, Matt Powell lied about yours truly.
On too. But I guess my question would be more specifically, what would you lean more towards? If you had a gauge and said, okay, here's the arguments for intelligent design, here's the arguments for things, let's roll the dice, which is more plausible? In your mind, if there was a plausible.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about the Christian God, I would certainly say it's more plausible that through random events that we're here. If you're talking about some kind of other creator God, or some kind of like deistic God, I might find them equal at that point. But definitely with the Christian God, I would give you it's more plausible the randomness idea.
Okay, so you believe like a unconscious process such as evolution produced consciousness and produced us today. Can you explain like how you think that happened? How unconsciousness was created?
No, you wouldn't have a clue, man. Yeah, that's.
Matt, can you explain exactly how God did it? You want to ask us exactly how things happened so many millions of years ago. But can you even tell us for sure exactly how God did what he did 6,000 years ago? And can you even see how stupid it is that you can't see the difference in that?
So that's what you believe, right? Well, here's what I'll say: is I trust the scientists. The overwhelming majority of scientists believe in the Big Bang. They believe in evolution. The only people that I find not to believe in those type of things are Christians and younger creationists. So what I would say, like any other field, like the medical field, if 99.9% of the doctors told me that I should get a vaccination in order to get rid of the chance of getting some kind of disease, I'm gonna take the vaccination because I trust the doctors, trust the education, and the science that's been put into it. So I would frame it that way.
So I guess my question is then, is Stephen Hawking a scientist that you would put on the list that you would trust?
Frankly, I haven't really looked too much into Stephen.
And here he goes. He's gonna try to start bashing on Stephen Hawking, trying to lump all of us atheists into one big old group who are exactly the same. He's going to misrepresent Stephen Hawking, but what can you expect from a creationist idiot like Matt Powell?
I've never read any of his stuff or any of his materials. So really, I don't know if I could really give you an honest answer to that. It seems like a nice guy, genuine person, but
right.
Super smart dude. But really, I haven't read his materials.
Right. Well, I'll give you a quote from Stephen Hawking, and this is for the case of intelligent design. And if you think that things happen by chance, that's totally fine. Most atheists believe that. And so, Steve Hawking said in that quote, he said, "The universe would not exist if there's a decrease in the expansion rate 1 second, just 1 second, after the Big Bang by only 1 part in 100,000 million million." So that's one chance out of 100,000 million chances that things would come into being by chance. And so, wouldn't you say it's kind of foolish to believe that those odds happen by themselves without intelligence creating those odds?
No, not at all. I mean, it's probably a 1 in a trillion chance that I would be the sperm that hit my mother's egg and would be born, right? Like, what's the odds? I mean, my parents would have to, after all the sperm that my father created over time and all the times they probably made love, I was the particular sperm that won that hit the egg, and here I am.
But that's not the same.
It is the same thing, Matt. Skylar just crushed you. Skylar just bitch slapped you. This argument you have is really, really stupid. It's really, really ignorant. It makes you look foolish. Because those same odds would apply to your God. What are the odds of God doing it? Probably worse odds than that. It's a very foolish assertion from a very foolish child.
Same analogy though, because here's the thing.
We're talking about odds and the likeliness. We're not saying it's impossible. You're not disagreeing that it's impossible that randomness could cause it. You're just saying that it's very, very unlikely.
Well, actually, Stephen Hawking said, and I quote, he said, "We are a mathematical impossibility," and that is a miracle by definition, correct?
I would have to look and see the actual quote and see where's that from.
You can Google it. Go ahead.
Yeah, where's it from? Like what book?
I can't give you the exact book. I found it on Google in several different sources.
So I would have to go through and read it. I would imagine you went through and read the context and everything like that then. Once you found this random quote.
Well, here's the thing. When you say, it's just whatever chance happens with a completely random chance, it's not wise to make that parallel to the cosmological argument of the universe. Because here's the thing. Within the cosmological argument of the universe and the way things came together, it's the equivalent of walking into a room full of 1 out of 100. You'd have 1 out of 100,000 million cups of clean water. So only 1 cup of this water is clean. And let's say, for example, the other cups were all poisoned, and you only had 1 second to make the decision of which cup was clean water, but you couldn't really tell the difference. The odds of you picking that specific one is incredibly unlikely.
Sure,
and if you choose any other odd, you're going to have a problem.
Sure, but it's not impossible. That's the point. It's not impossible. Just saying something's unlikely, and I admit that it's astronomical, the chances that all this would exist. But once again, this wouldn't get you back to your specific God. Like, this would just be some creator God. And my analogy is fine. Like, the numbers are astronomical that I would be the sperm, and of all the sperm that my father made in his lifetime, that I would be the one that hit the egg, and that specific egg that my mother created within all lifetime.
Pretend that all the sperm are bad and that you're the only good sperm. It shows that it's highly likely. So, but here's the thing, though, Skylar. What you have to understand is these odds have to come into play with all sorts of other mathematical odds simultaneously. For example, the chances of a functional protein existing by chance is 10 to the 164th power. So I've even actually got this number right here for the viewer to see it.
Where's it from?
I've got tons of sources.
No, but hold on. What's that specific one from?
Oh, Matt, you and your stupid ass fake sources and stupid ass fake numbers, and Skylar just really crushed you. So you're gonna have to really start, grasping, and you're gonna grasp for me soon. Do you even realize like how foolish we make you look every single time you do this? Every single time.
Well, I mean, there's so many millions. I just
no. The one you're holding, the one that you print out a piece of paper.
Well,
all the numbers
I'm
just you print out a piece of paper. Okay. Matt, hold on, Matt. Give me a second to speak here for just a moment. I'm for a second. Listen, you print out a piece of paper with a large number on it, and then I specifically ask you what that's from. Now you're telling me you're gonna have to Google it to find out. Like, don't you think if you took the time to print that out, that you might want to go ahead and write down the source and the information where this comes from? I'm not even doubting that this may be even true what you're saying, but this isn't very good when you're coming to a conversation. It's kind of like rhetoric, or like,
I agree to a point. Yeah. I agree to a point, but I'm not going to write out 50 billion sources on one sheet of paper.
No, but you just have one number. You didn't need to write 50 billion sources. You wrote down the number for a reason. Why not write the source with it?
Hey, that's a great point. Maybe in the future when I get in these discussions, I'll start just adding random sources in.
Well, I will be honest. Specific source. Wouldn't be random. It's a specific source.
Right. All the viewer has to do is just type in what are the odds of functional protein existing by chance, and they're going to get that same number. But here's the thing: this number has to come into place at the same time as the 100,000 million chances happens, which is why Stephen Hawking said we are a mathematical impossibility. So if we're a mathematical impossibility, that is a miracle by definition. And so I don't see how anybody can get around that.
That's your definition of a miracle. Right. Where did you get that definition at? But that's how you would define a miracle. That something a miracle would be something that is not of, how would I say this? A miracle would be something that goes against the laws of nature and it doesn't confine within the reality. Saying something is unlikely. I didn't say it was a miracle. No, you said it was a miracle. But you're just talking about like odds being low. There are lots of things that people can measure in life. Like there are rare genetic diseases that are extremely rare, but do happen. So it's not a miracle. A miracle would go against, that would be the supernatural. And this is certainly not supernatural when you're talking about the physical world.
Okay. Well, then I got one more question for you.
Please. No, it's okay.
Your show, so,
please ask as many questions as you want. I drilled into you last time. I'm happy to sit here and be in the hot seat and answer questions for you.
Sounds good. So what is the most poorly designed video game that you can think of? Just one that you played growing up.
Always going to the stupid video games. Like, he just crushed you, and you have to go to the design of video games. Like, Matt, this is not your strong suit. You really should study your Bible and apologize for your Bible more, because this creation young earth argument just isn't your strong suit.
I'll tell you what, man. Growing up recently, Fallout 76 was terrible, and I'm so mad because I am a huge Fallout fan. And for that to happen, to be so terrible, man, it's pretty bad.
Right. So would you say that Fallout 4 could design itself without an intelligence behind it? Or would you say it's mathematically impossible?
It seems mathematically impossible without an intelligence behind it. I would say that. That's fair enough. I might be convinced otherwise, but that seems safe to say that it would be
But you will agree that it's a very
Fallout.
simple video game.
No. Fallout's a very complex video game. It's just
I
flawed.
asked you which is the most simple video game.
Oh, I thought you were saying like a flawed video game. Simple video game. I don't know, Mario Brothers, I guess, but it's still pretty complex.
Right. So could that complex game, which is the most simple of games that we know, design itself without a mind behind it? That's the question.
No, because games by definition have minds behind them.
Okay.
That's human beings.
Then my next question would be, since you look at that complexity.
See, yeah, Matt, what you're not getting is this does not equate. I crushed you on this with your stupid sculpture argument. You know, anything created by somebody is not going to be the same as Earth and humankind, because you can prove the creator in that situation. We've never been able to prove a creator for us, Matt. Where is your evidence? Where is your proof of any of this outside of text written by sheepfuckers? I would like to know. I would like to fucking know.
And then the complexity of the simplest life. And I quote Richard Dawkins now. Richard Dawkins said in his book, The Blind Watchmaker, on page 116, he said, the simplest life has the amount of specified complexity in it of over 1,000 complete sets of encyclopedias. So if you put 1,000 sets of complete encyclopedias up to Centipede, or up to the most simple video game that's out there, and demand that the video game have a designer, but the encyclopedia set doesn't, I believe that that's irrational and fundamentally illogical. Wouldn't you say so? My question is, do you believe that the simplest life, with the amount of complexity of over 1,000 complete sets of encyclopedias, came to life by itself through spontaneous
All right, I just want to comment, like doesn't Matt Powell really look and sound like a chipmunk sped up double time? Like every time, this should be the new rule in the atheist community, is we don't live record Matt. We record it and then upload it and make sure he's going at double speed to look like the chipmunk he is. That's what we should all do.
generation? And if that's so, do you believe it happened by chance?
I mean, ultimately, I don't know. I don't know if there was an intelligent designer. I mean, I'm agnostic on that. It could be one. It could be all random chance. I would say, but your quote was from who was that? Was it Richard Dawkins?
Richard Dawkins, page 116.
I appreciate you giving me the book too. I really do on that one. Richard Dawkins is still an evolutionist, right?
Absolutely. I'm willing to grant you that even if evolution's true, that there would have to be a designer. You know, I'm willing to just grant that right off the bat.
But you'd have to get rid of younger creationism then at that point.
Right, I'm just granting the premise. I still.
Oh no,
believe
yeah, well,
in
good. Well,
creation.
yeah, then I mean, I stay with evolution.
Like if you believe in pond scum to people evolution, you know, that's definitely your thing. Like if you believe we came from a rock, that's respectable.
You know, this is something that I've been hearing from these creationists. They're trying, you know, they get disrespectful. Like if you believe pond scum to whatever, you know, I don't think any of us believe in pond scum evolution. I don't think any of us believe or know where they came from. In fact, I think most of us believe that the first celled organism would have been on a very hot planet that wouldn't have had any ponds, swamps, scum, maybe some scum, but you know what I'm saying. So, Matt, you're just being idiotic. But I think we're coming close to where he's going to lie about me again.
Can you quote an evolutionist that says we come from pond scum to evolution? Can you quote any evolutionists that said that?
Yeah, there's a fifth grade textbook, and I know that this one's specifically from 2002, so I'm not going to claim that the modern textbooks are teaching this because I haven't studied modern textbooks.
What year was it? 1952?
No, it was 2002.
Okay, and you said it claims that we came from pond scum?
It claims.
I've never heard evolutionists. Are the only people I ever hear say that are Christians?
Well, I'm just kind of like mocking that idea. I'm not mocking the person necessarily, but I'm just mocking the idea of pond scum. They say that it rained on the rocks for millions and millions of years, and through spontaneous generation and by chance, life designed itself. And so, I believe that we came from a rock far enough back in time after the Big Bang.
Well, that's the theory. Yeah, that's the theory. Yeah, the evolution. I believe what the scientists believe, and the majority of them that have studied their whole entire lives, that have dedicated themselves to the knowledge and testing of a lot of all this stuff. Yeah, it seems perfectly reasonable, just like I would trust a medical professional. Now, are they always right? Does data change? Absolutely, something could change. In the future, absolutely. Someone tells me that's a Ken Hovind quote, the one you just said. What was the exact?
They think that. That's on textbooks everywhere.
Give me the exact quote again. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. Pond scum to what?
Pond scum to people evolution. But here's the thing, I was using that as just a figure of speech. Because if it rains on the rocks for billions of years, isn't it just a figure of speech that we would say, well, we came from pond scum? I'm just giving a figure of speech to try to make it clear that.
So you're just telling me that it's complicated, basically. You're saying that in a very complicated process. I mean, you're oversimplifying, I think. No,
I'm asking you to agree that we came from a rock.
I wouldn't phrase it just saying a rock. I think it's a much more complex idea when they talk about evolution than just saying we came from a rock. I mean, opposed to saying that human beings came from the dirt with the Bible. I mean, I don't know what's so different between dirt in the Bible and a rock.
Well, it's
kind of hypocritical a little bit on your part. All right, how women came from a rib. Do women come from ribs?
Okay, here's the difference. So let me answer your first question. So basically, your question is, well, if we claim we came from rocks and you believe you came from dust, how do we know which one's correct? Well, here's the thing. The Bible says that God, out of the dust of the ground, formed man, and He breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. So I believe I've come from God, and you believe that you came by chance, or at least I don't want to strawman you, but I think you lean more towards the fact that you think you came from a rock without any intelligence pulling the strings at all.
And what's wrong with that? Well, let's just say we did somehow. Let's just, for the sake of argument, I'm not saying that is your position, but let's just say by chance we were created, and from rocks, I'll use your words. What's the problem with that?
Well, I think it's fundamentally unscientific. Science has to meet three criteria. It has to be demonstrable, testable, and provable. And so to say, well, I believe in science, but I believe that we came from pond scum or a rock is fundamentally unscientific because number one, we've never observed it. Number two, they put all the elements that contain life together. It's never created life. And the atheists that I debated for my movie, Godless Engineer, and Raging Atheist both admitted that, yeah, there's probably strings, or Raging Atheist admitted this. I don't know about Godless Engineer, so I'm not going to strawman him. But Raging Atheist at least admitted that, yeah, there was probably a universal mind, as he put it, pulling the strings of evolution. And so I'm just trying to understand your worldview and where you're coming from on the origin of life.
All right, so there's the lie. He didn't want to misrepresent Godless Engineer, but had no problems misrepresenting me. This is one of the direct lies that I addressed in my video, proof Matt Powell lied on me in his movie. Now, we're going to go back and I'm going to slow it down and let you really listen to it. All right, let's watch this again at normal speed.
Is fundamentally unscientific because, number one, we've never observed it. Number two, they've put all the elements that contain life together. It's never created life. And the atheists that I debated for my movie, Godless Engineer and Raging Atheist, both admitted that, yeah, there's probably strings, or there could. Raging Atheist admitted this. I don't know about Godless Engineer, so I'm not going to straw man him. But Raging Atheist at least admitted that, yeah, there was probably a universal mind, as he put it, pulling the strings of evolution. And so I'm just trying to understand your worldview.
All right. I did not say that I believe that. I was responding to an absolute Matt put out, and I said that that's a possibility. I never said I believe that. So Matt is once again lying. But in case you guys are wondering, we'll check it out. I got it right here. Let's watch the real conversation.
But there's only two possibilities. Either God created the world or the world created itself.
No.
Every other, well, then give me another possibility.
The universe shoots us out. The universe has a mind of its own, and it creates life. It creates galaxies. It creates individual systems for life to expand. It could be a number of things. To say that there's two possibilities is a fallacy.
Okay.
All right. So, all right. There you have me responding to. There you have. Once again, certifiable proof that Matt Powell is lying on me, is straw manning me, is saying that I said things that I didn't say. I never said I believe that, Matt Powell, and yet you're going to go on Skylar Fiction and misrepresent me. And I was in the chat screaming about how you were lying. You know, why are you afraid to straw man Skylar? Why are you afraid to straw man Godless Engineer, but have no problem straw manning me? That's something that I don't understand. Do you think that these atheists don't know what you're doing? Do you think that these atheists actually respect you for not for straw manning me? Like, do you think people actually are believing you? Nobody fucking believes you, Matt Powell. And I have proof right here. You know, the next time you're going to have a debate with an atheist, you might want to really make sure the atheists don't get his footage, Matt Powell. But I'm going to end that right here. Just wanted to make a quick video responding to the lie that Matt Powell is putting forth once again. So until next time, guys, I'll see you soon.